This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
What's up, Mr. Winfield? This is Ramil Ron Robinson. I got to ask you a couple of questions. So please call me back when you get this. Bye.
I did not do it. That's all I say. When police call my phone. I don't know why he said his name was Romeo Ron Robinson. Not sure. He does have a podcast of his own. It's called the Radio Days with a Z. Days. 30th of January 2021. My name is Corey Winfield.
Marney Winfield here.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast, where Marney and I talk about our day in recovery. Mm-hmm. Some people find it helpful. Some people find it useful. A lot of family members and friends listen who aren't battling addiction for their loved ones. It's kind of gives them insight, is what they tell us, to what may be going through the mind of their loved one. Mm-hmm. As we share the stuff from our past and the things that we go through each day. I do want to say congratulations to a friend of mine. I was his mentor back in treatment. Mm-hmm. Adam. Today is 7 months.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So big congratulations to Adam. We stand up. The crowd here is going crazy for you, Adam. No, big congratulations. Adam, it reminds me of some of the things that I went through. I remember when I first met Adam in the treatment center. He came in and it was real off to himself. Like he was real, just not shy, but just didn't want to be there. Just had this to him. Like, I didn't like that. So I went right up to him and was like, hey man, we're playing cards in there. You want to play? And he's like, no, I don't. You know, and he was real bitter, but he did kind of open up. And you know, like I said, I was his mentor. Like a couple days later, I was like, oh great, I got that guy, the mean guy who doesn't want to talk to anybody. But I consider Adam a friend. He was in our fantasy football league as well. Mm-hmm. And you took him out first week of the playoffs, thank God, because I did not want to face his team. His team was stacked, and your team just went the F off and beat him, and I was just like, thank you. So, you did all my heavy work in the fantasy football playoffs.
You're welcome.
In the 217 Recovery League. But Adam, though, he has his ups and downs. He did in the past, but he's actually, this time around, doing things, I think, that are more productive for him. He's had some unfortunate things happen in his personal life, but he's made the most of them. Mm-hmm. And I think he's understanding that, what can I control about the situation? Drinking's, throw that out the window. That's not an option. We all know that's not going to make anything better. That whole, oh man, just to get a buzz, I can just do it one more time. That's a lie. Mm-hmm. The buzz isn't even that good. Mm-hmm. Especially compared to living sober. And when you have, 6 months, or like Adam today, 7 months, it just doesn't even compare to being as good as waking up sober, clear-headed, mm-hmm. and with that mindset of, okay, what can I do today to make myself better, as a person? Who can I help? What can I do? And I think Adam's finally kind of hitting that, and he's a recovery coach now.
That's awesome.
He took the training from FAN. So, like, Adam, I really would like to have him like part of our crew, what we do, and especially when we start needing more drivers, as I roll my eyes, people start figuring out what it is exactly that we do and what it is, and how it is funded. Like NMRE has just been great to us, and that's our region's PIHP. Mm-hmm. And I know I might be speaking Spanish to a lot of people, but without the support from them, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we're doing as far as helping people get to and from treatment. And it's just one of those things that makes sense, but people just keep overlooking it, which drives me absolutely crazy. I just want to shake people and be like, don't you understand? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Because people, I don't understand. It just baffles me. And then I realized too, that's what I had to realize when I was in treatment for, I don't know, maybe the 8th or 9th time, when I was so frustrated with the radio station I was working at, and the psychiatrist was like, well, do you know what your IQ is? I was like, man, I don't even know. I don't care. And he was like, no, your IQ is high. And that's probably part of the frustration for you. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, the people at the radio station, from how you describe them, don't sound like they're very intelligent. I'm like, no, they're not. He's like, well, their brains just cannot comprehend what you're telling them. It's not that they're bad people. It's just they can't figure it out. And it still took me a while to get through that and then to accept, the things the way that they are. Mm-hmm. And not everybody, and that's just a fact. Everybody can run around and say, everybody's equal. Okay, as far as like rights and what you should be offered, sure. But we're not equal, And I'm not talking about racism. I'm not talking about racist. I'm just saying, like, people, like Marney, you're different than I am. Mm-hmm. You're so much better at things.
What?
You're just so much better at, some things that I'm at, that I'm good at. And then vice versa, Mm-hmm. I'm better taking out the trash. Everybody's different. That's what makes us unique. And like that saying, you're your own individual, just like everybody else, or you're unique, just like everybody else, and that's true. But I don't know. I just have to get over that and just accept it and try not to give up and explain it just one more time, or just try to figure out, okay, how can I dumb this down to make them understand it? It's clear English and writing right here. I'm not sure. But anyway, once all that stuff gets figured out, I would love to have Adam, as a driver. I think he would be a great coach. And, when you're taking somebody to treatment, it's tough, seeing the shape that they're in. And that's the reminder of, oh, God, I don't want to one drink and that's where I'm going to be. It's a quick reminder, and it's very sobering. And then when you take them home from treatment, and sometimes you get the same person, and wow, they're full of energy, and they're just telling you like, man, my life's not over, and here's the plans that I have for my family, and these are the things that I'm going to do for myself. And I had a guy the other day, and he was telling me this and that, and he said a few things that kind of raised some flags, and I don't think he even knew they raised flags, but I kind of worked around them with them. One of them is being codependent, and a lot of people don't realize it, but when you're doing things to make other people happy, mm-hmm. that's a clear sign of being codependent. And for example, like if you called, I don't have kids, but let's say I got out of treatment and my kids aren't talking to me. I'm Dad, I'm talking to you. And then as I get to the end of my treatment, they start talking to me. So I get out of treatment and I call them and say, hey, look, I live in Michigan and you live in, I was going to say Indiana, but that's pretty damn close. You live in Colorado. Do you want me to move out there to be with you? You don't ask that. Mm-hmm. You do what you need to do, which I assume you want to be near your kids. So you move out to Colorado. It's like those kind of decisions you don't leave up to other people. You're not going to move to Colorado because it's going to make them happy. You're going to move to Colorado because it's going to make you happy, and you're going to be with your kids, mm-hmm. or at least near them to where you can see them more often, baseball games, whatever. So just little things like that, though, like can throw up little flags, and having a recovery coach that can kind of go, oh, hey, bud, not that it's my job to tell him anything, mm-hmm. but as a person in recovery, I feel it's like, hey, man, and how you tell it is crucial too. You don't ever tell anybody what to do or what they can't do. Offer suggestions. Have you thought about this? Or, maybe be careful because I had a situation like this and this is what happened. And I realized I was codependent and I had to make those decisions on my own, mm-hmm. not based on what my mom wanted or what my brother wanted or sister wanted. I had to make myself happy. Just wording it like that, right, is a little bit easier. So, because, like I said, I can't tell somebody what to do. Mm-hmm. He can ask his kids or whoever all he wants.
Same thing as with the whole idea of setting goals for yourself. You can't tell somebody else what goals to set. Those have to be completely, from within, and they have to stem from what does they want their future to look like. What's best for them, what will make them happy. What are the things that they need that they want to strive for? You can't sit down and tell somebody else what their goals are supposed to be.
Well, I mean, like your goal of making my bank account bigger than yours is a goal that I think that's good for both of us. And when I tell people, you know, when I'm driving them, I'm like, hey, you know, make sure you have a goal to donate 90% of all your earnings to 217 Recovery. I think that's a pretty good goal. It's maybe a little bit high. Saying I should go 70%.
You're totally off track of what I was saying.
I know, but you're right. You know, but sometimes it's hard for people to start. Mm-hmm. You know, so do you want to role play?
Setting goals. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you do.
Well, we might as well, because I mean, just to kind of get the gist of it.
Okay.
Because we're some goal setters here.
Okay.
All right, so I'm driving you home from treatment. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great. That's cool, Marn. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of plans that you are thinking about, but did you actually set some goals?
What do you mean?
Like write them down on paper.
Like, well, I just told you what they were.
Yeah, but you said you wanted to build a tree house, but do you know how to build a tree house?
No, I was kidding about the treehouse.
Okay.
No, I probably need to get a job. I said I need to get a job.
Okay, well, what kind of job are you going to get?
I don't know, somewhere where I make a lot of money.
Oh, okay. Well, you can be a stripper. How are you going to get there?
Who said anything about that?
Well, who didn't say anything about that?
I didn't. I do not want to
make a lot of money.
I do not want to be a stripper.
Okay, you want to be?
I don't know what I want to do.
Okay.
This is the part where you're supposed to help me figure out.
Well, what are your interests?
I don't know.
Like dancing?
No.
Like music?
No, not music.
Let's say you could be a stripper.
I like people.
Oh, perfect. Fits right in.
So,
music,
I like helping people.
Money, helping people. Mm-hmm. Some consider that helping people. All right. Well, how about this? Figure out what you really want to do. Write it down, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then write down beside it what you're going to do to get there. Okay. If you want to be a doctor, obviously you have to go back to school. So that would be, hey, I want to be a doctor. Okay. Mm-hmm. Go back to school. Mm-hmm. And make like 5 of those. Okay. Make a goal. Be very specific, you know. God can't give you something if you don't ask him for it.
Right.
So ask him.
Well, I probably need to start with my resume.
Okay.
I got to update that.
On the job front, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to figure out people that they could write letters of reference for me.
Okay.
I'll do that.
It's a good start. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, good luck. See you.
Get online, see what's out there, you know, in the area where I live. Because I'm definitely staying here in Traverse City because I know that it's a good recovery community.
I don't think they have any clubs up here, but that's fine. Well,
no, for real though, that's what I did. That's what I did.
Oh, that's what you did.
I just took over your role play situation.
Okay, I was saying we were done role playing, but you kept wanting to go with it.
No, it's fine. That was my story. You know, I was kind of right off the bat. I wanted to, you know, get things organized in my life and get things figured out. The things that I needed. I knew I wanted and needed employment. I mean, that's kind of how the world works, you know. And then I knew I wanted to, I needed a safe place to live where my sobriety was not in jeopardy. So it needed to be with people that I trusted, roommates that I trusted, or if I could trust myself on my own.
Well, see, that almost backfired on you.
I mean, you can't play out. You can't line up everything of how things are going to work.
It worked out how it was supposed to.
Absolutely, it did. Absolutely, it did. I didn't know I was going to fall in love, and you know, things worked out how they did. But in my head, when I got out of treatment, it was, I needed to start, you know, find a job that I liked. I knew I needed a job that I liked because I've worked in jobs that I did not like, and it is a huge disaster. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're if you're struggling in general. And I knew I needed to get help, but I thought I could do it all at once, you know. I'll do outpatient treatment. And I was trying to do everything excuse my language, but a half-ass. And that does not work out. So when I went to rehab this last time, it was all in. I needed to work on myself. I needed to start over fresh. And I'd worked at jobs before that were not conducive to any kind of recovery program. Working with alcohol, everybody who I worked with used alcohol and drugs. And then I also worked at jobs that were the opposite, that I was completely unhappy. I was an administrative assistant at a bank, and I loathed going to work, and I couldn't wait to get off. And, so I knew I needed to do something that was healthy for me and that I was excited about doing every day. And for me, I found a job working with other people in recovery, and it was a godsend. Not saying that was what everybody wants to do, but, and I don't make a ton of money, but I love what I do, and it makes me happy, and it keeps me sober. So little by little, I saved money, and I surrounded myself with people that were either in recovery or supported my recovery, family members and friends, and it was a small circle, and I was okay with that because that's how it needed to be for me. Some people say that maybe isn't that lonely? I don't have plans every night and 40 people that I can call my friends. No, I'm fine with that, because having sincere and healthy relationships with people, a few people, is so much more fulfilling than having empty relationships with a lot, especially when they're unhealthy and they will take you down and you will have no one, because were they really your friends? I can tell you I had tons of numbers in my cell phone, and not one of them would do anything for me if I really absolutely needed it, unless it benefited them. And that's sad. But I'm sure a lot of people that are hearing this feel the same. But, it doesn't have to be that way. And I did a 180, and everything is magical in my life right now. Fantastic.
You realize that life's not a popularity contest.
Absolutely, it's not.
And that's what Facebook's for. If you want, friendships that have no meaning. Yeah. There you go. Add them on Facebook.
You kind of put me on the spot the other day with the Facebook social media, reality check.
What do you mean?
We were talking about how many friends we have on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how it all came up. Oh, you said somebody asked friend requested you,
mm-hmm.
and they were already my friend. And I had no idea who this person was. And it made me kind of go back and be like, you know what? I don't know if it's right to have people that are friends on Facebook, my friends on Facebook, that I really don't know, have any idea who they are. Or in what capacity that I would know them. So I went through mine and I kind of did a little house cleaning. Not in a bad way, nothing bad. Just if I did not know the person, and if the friends that they had that were mutual didn't know them either, then twice removed was yeah, I don't think I'm gonna. And not in a bad way, like I said,
you gotta be careful who you add on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I say that because you can only have 5,000 friends, and it becomes such a beat down. Mm-hmm. Trying to go through and get rid of people.
And you claim to say that you know every single one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Intimately.
Not intimately. Going back to the 15,000 people reference. No, but yeah, I worked in radio. There's a lot of people, and you meet a lot of people. And I tried to go through there because I thought too, there's no way I know these people. Yeah. I've met these people, talked to these people, and when you make that connection, being in radio, it's okay, cool. And if you friend request them for some reason, or they friend request you, there's no reason for me to get out of my Facebook friendship, and people still listen to the podcast from all over too. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of my people that listen to me in Fort Smith, Arkansas still listen, Dallas even, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, it's a pain in the ass to go through and delete people, and then you start finding people that passed away. Because sometimes their family members don't remove their thing or whatever. I'm not sure how that works. But I'm like, oh no, this person, let me just, and then I feel bad about that. It's just a beatdown. So then there'd be people who I really wanted to add, and that would happen over the summer a lot. Like there'd be people I would meet. I'm like, all right, man, hook me up, look me up on Facebook, and I couldn't add them because I was already at 5,000. So I would knock it down to like 4,995. No, until I took it down to like 4,550. And then that's a bit, going through and deleting 50 people.
Well, my feeling is if somebody really wanted to get in contact with me and know about me, then they could figure out a way. It's not like I'm hiding from anybody.
Well, the election.
I'm just saying, there's random people that I don't really know. I don't really feel the need to be updated on what's going on in my life every day.
The election, too, knocked off by about 20 of them that they unfriended me.
I think you're a little more forgiving with...
And that's cool. No, they unfriended me because of my trolling. I'm worried. I didn't troll anybody today, so that's
Maybe you
good.
should watch your Facebook time. Like, how much time you spend on it.
We should. I bet it would surprise you how little time I spend on Facebook.
Really? Because you're busy on Twitter and...
No, I hate Twitter. Twitter's so stupid. I'm just not a fan. I try Twitter and I'm just like, eh. Like, I posted some pictures on Instagram the other day. I was gramming because that will send them to, I think, Facebook and Twitter. So it kind of defeats the purpose. I'd say I'd spend probably about 2 minutes a day on Facebook. Maybe less. On Instant Messenger, of course, obviously a little bit more. So are you counting that too?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say under 2 minutes a day.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, and that's just me going back to edit my post. That's how long because I'll post, or if I do post something, oh crap, that doesn't sound right. Going back and edit and make sure.
So when's the trolling happen?
That's more on Twitter.
Also,
or I'll post something about how whatever Trump or Biden or whoever did something stupid, or one did one, or I don't know. I'll just post something stupid, but that'll be like my post. I won't go through other people. So maybe I'm not trolling, but I know it'll make people mad, so then I post it.
Don't encourage like that. That's not
Or
healthy.
if I'm on there for a minute just to get my trolling needs out of the way, I'll go through the home screen thing or whatever for like a hot minute, and if something stupid's on there, I reply back with equal stupidity.
Sounds exhausting.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's fun. So speaking of messages, though, today I got one. Had me choked up a bit. Now, if you listen to the podcast on the regular, you probably heard me talk about the letter that I wrote my father around Christmas. And I sent him pictures of our wedding. But I wrote him a letter. And it was something that I realized while I was in treatment that I needed to do. I haven't talked to my dad since April of 2018. So it's been a minute. And I sent the letter and the tracking and said it was left at their front porch. That's all I know. And hadn't heard anything since. So it's been over a month. Figured, and trust me, I think about it, especially when I'm driving, and I have, 3-hour trip to go get somebody and I got 3 hours in the car by myself, I think about that a lot, but at least I did the right thing. I did the adult thing. I apologize that if the things I said hurt his feelings, but they needed to be said. Unfortunately, they didn't need to be said while I was drunk That is how drunk Corey acted. And that's what people with addiction problems and substance use disorders, that's what we do usually. You know, we burn bridges and we blow up relationships. That's what we do. But the way I responded with this letter, you know, the things I said, and it was more adult, and to know that I want a relationship with my father, but at the same time, I want it to be something that is meaningful to whatever relationship we have. Meaning, like, if it's going to be a father-son relationship, I want us to start over and just get everything out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's just going to be a, hey, man, happy birthday, Merry Christmas kind of thing, then okay, cool. Then we can keep it there. So whatever level we want it to go to, I want it to be at that level. I don't want it just to be like, hey, Dad, you're back in my life, but you're not. You're just a text buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I want to call him on Thursdays, or, you know, I want a more relationship, but we got to figure that out. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what kind of relationship we're going to have either, you know, and so that's kind of scary. And anyway, so I got this message from my stepmother, and she was like, hey, Corey, it's Pat. What's your address? We was trying to send you something, and it came back. I was like, huh. It's like, I took the address from the box you sent. I thought, cool, they got the box. Because part of me was thinking, well, maybe they didn't get the box, you know, porch pirates and stuff. I don't know. Like, those are things I was thinking about when I'm like, oh, then he hasn't responded, he hasn't texted, you know. It's like, I know they have my number. So yeah, so I got that, and I was like, okay, interesting. And then I started, you know, just kind of thinking about having a relationship with my father again. And I started getting really emotional. And I think that's good. Mm-hmm. You know, because I don't want to go through life with the whole, oh, well, yep, we had a falling out, and oh, well. You know, and that was part of me writing the letter, you know, because I was feeling that way before. And then I realized, you know, that's one of his traits that I don't care for. And I'm being just like him. Mm-hmm. So that does not make me a better person. But to actually write that letter and send it, you know, and I haven't got the reply back. It could just say, go to hell.
No.
But you know what? That's his choice. Again, you know, he's made choices for his life. And I make them for mine. So, but I'm excited and looking forward to whatever they send, and maybe it'll just be a card saying, "Hey, congrats on the wedding." Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'm not going to overthink it, and I'm just going to wait for it to arrive. But I think that's still a good sign.
I think it's a great sign, and like I said originally, even before you got the text back, even before any of that, I said I'm proud of you for writing the letter, because, you know, you made the effort to, you know, put yourself out there and, you know, say it was on your mind. And I mean, who wouldn't want to respond to that letter? Who wouldn't want to respond to news like that you're doing amazing, that his son's doing amazing, you know? And even if you wouldn't have gotten a response back, I think that it was a good move on your part, and you did. I mean, you're going to get a response back. Well, you did get a response back, and acknowledgement, and, you know, yeah, we don't know what's going to be in that, you know, letter or package or what have you, but it's a response either way, and you did that, so you should be proud of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I am. I'm proud of myself, and that's okay to be proud of myself.
I think it's great.
I knew that was an issue. I said earlier, you know, when I went to treatment this last time, I knew that there was underlying issues there with our relationship, but I never really put it together that was one of many factors that I was running from and using the bottle to do that. And years, you know, back to childhood. You know, they say childhood trauma is the cause of a lot of our addiction problems. And until you can sit down and be real with yourself and go through it and realize it. And I didn't try to fix it at that moment. You know, I knew that first I need to get sober.
Yeah.
You know, I need to learn to live this new life. Until I do that, I can't deal with these other issues. So, and then I didn't put a timetable on it. Like, well, December of 2020 is when I'm going to handle this issue. I didn't put a timetable on it. I just said, you know what? When I'm ready, I'll handle it. And during the fall, I started kind of getting ready for it, you know, mentally and thinking about it. And the time was right. Our wedding it just happened. And I felt that was a time to reach out and share my thoughts and tell them about my beautiful wife. So it was good, though. And yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you updated on the whole response thing.
Yeah. And I think it's important to touch on what you said about it's not about, okay, when you look at the things in your life that maybe are root problems or issues that played a part in our addiction, there is no fixing that. These aren't things that, these are things that have happened, events that have happened, pieces, parts, chapters of our life that existed that cannot be undone, per se. These are things that we need to recognize and, like you said, to deal with and to, you know, I want to say, I don't want to say, I guess open up would probably be a better word, to open up these issues and things that have gone on with us that we know caused us pain, that we know we regret or feel some kind of way about, that we need to, you know, recognize and literally work through our feelings about it and how it is that we can kind of piece ourselves back together about it and feel okay about where things are at right now, because we can't change it. We can't change that stuff. It doesn't just disappear. But shoving it in a corner and still feeling bad and awful and dark and negative about it, that is unhealthy. And that's the stuff that made me keep drinking, made me pick up drugs, it's because I still had I couldn't feel okay just being me because of stuff that, you know, were issues with me. And, you know, everybody still have issues, but it's a constant concept of working on you and working on being the better you and being accepting about celebrating the you that you are today. And that will keep you sober. That keeps me happy, you know. Yeah, I've done crap in my life that I'm not proud of. Yeah, I've hurt people. Yeah, people have hurt me. But that's not who I am today. And I celebrate who I am today. And I love who I am today. I love where I'm at today. And a lot of it, 99.9% of it has happened because I'm sober. So, you know, it's a win-win situation. But it's not easy. And it takes a long time. And it's a continuing thing. So, keep your head up and keep doing the work.
You said accepting who you are today. And that pretty much is like accepting who you were then, too. You know, for those things that you did that you can't take back.
Yeah.
You know, those horrible things.
And it's hard. It's not fun. And it's, you know, but it's part of it. It's part of it all. And, you know, some people do this, you know, work through it with the steps. Some people get therapy. Some people, you know, talk to their priest. Some people have found recovery coaches. Some people have found mentors. There's all kinds of different ways, but you can't. I would suggest not trying. It can't be done all just within you and yourself by yourself.
And like my dad, like I told him in that letter that I'm not like happy that I sent you that text and said all those mean things, but I'm sorry they hurt your feelings, but I'm not sorry that I sent it. I'm not sorry that it happened. It had to happen the way it did. And I bet you $3.58
Whoa.
that if he was here today and you said, okay, Corey has been clean, sober for 2 years. Now, if he didn't send that text to you and he wouldn't be clean and sober today, would you rather have that version, or would you rather have the version he sent you the text and he's clean and sober for 2 years and married and having a good little life? My dad would say, I'd rather take that text, you know? I guarantee you he would say that. Because I don't think he doesn't care about me. I just think there was issues, like I said, that I needed to work through. But he would say, yeah, you know, that text needed to happen. And I wasn't sure at first how he would take that statement of me saying, no, I'm not sorry that I sent the text. But, you know, those are the alternatives, you know, like, what would you rather have? He would say, oh, I'll take the little drunk scolding, you know, which probably didn't make any sense. I'm not even sure. I don't remember exactly what I said in the text. I know it was nothing good. It wasn't like congratulating him for being the father of the year or anything.
Right.
And I was drunk. So, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Not one of my proudest moments, but at the same time, it had to happen. You know, and it was one of those things that clearly I was holding on to and regretting. But again, until you can come to terms with accepting it, then you can move on, and then you can accept who you are today. So, well, thank you for listening. I think that will conclude tonight's podcast. You can get us on any platform. Of course, you know that. Subscribe to us, though, on whatever you do listen to, and share it with your friends. If you know someone who's having a hard time, you know, maybe this episode hits home. Maybe one from last week where the Chinese people were trying to kill me, putting coronavirus in the ice cream. Whatever, man. There's different episodes, all with kind of different tones, but this one was a fun one for me tonight. I got to talk about a lot of cool things, and congrats to Adam once again.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations.
Yeah, big time. For real.
Keep it up.
Well, check out our website, which is lovely, and I'm going to take the wedding off tomorrow.
Okay.
The video. So if you haven't seen the video, check it out. 217recovery.com/wedding. It'll be there forever, but it'll be off the main page
Right.
tomorrow or today when you listen. So 217recovery.com. Have a good day, and we'll have another episode coming up.
Thanks, everybody.